would I be the asshole for filling in my man-made pond against some neighbor's wishes? I'm gonna say yes. I'm thinking like this dude doesn't have like any actual experience, and it could be one of those like DIY projects, and it could go incredibly south. For the past several years, I've owned a property in a semi-rural area. It is part of an HOA with only 12 houses over 1,000 acres, so we don't get much in each other's way. There is a common area that abuts my property, and on it there is a pond that is fed via an irrigation headgate on a creek on my property and a cut that runs from it through my property. I've come to discover this pond is a real pain. One neighbor used to maintain it without making a fuss, but he died. Aw, rest in peace. So dealing with it fell to me, as the neighbor most affected by it, and it's a pain. People trespass to go fishing or having their dogs swim in it. People from outside have come to ice skate on it. Totally not safe. Totally not safe. Yeah, that's a liability. It has silting problems. Oh no. The headgate needs to be dug out every spring, sometimes multiple times. The cut clogs up and has to be cleared. Then a beaver took up a residence and kept blocking the outflow culvert, causing a flood on neighboring farmers' land. He was rightly pissed, and I got the brunt of it. I was clearing out beaver blockages several days a week. Nobody else in the HOA would help. I did some research and discovered that the water right for the headgate belonged to me alone, and not the association. Whoops! There was no easement in the irrigation cut and cherry on the Sunday. The pond is actually on my property and not common area. Had a survey done just to be sure. I also discovered it wasn't really a pond. It was a hole dug up to provide fill for our road, and the original developer just routed irrigation into the hole and called it a pond. But this explains why it is such a mess. What? Holy crap. This dude's like, cool, it's now a pond. No way. A landowner a mile away is now digging out a proper pond, and he has to pay a ton to dispose of the fill, even though it is clean. I asked if it would help if he could put some of the fill in our pond, and he offered to pay for the privilege. I have closed the headgate and started draining the pond. Some members of the HOA have been yelling at me that they like the pond, just to look at as they drive out to the main road. So I said, okay, if you like it, pay up $10,000 a year for someone to deal with the nonsense. They refused. I said that in that case, the pond is getting filled in and planted with native grass. Using the money from making the fill, they can call me a selfish asshole. Am I? I'm not gonna say, I mean, it's gonna suck, but no, I'm gonna say no. Because I'm gonna say not the asshole. That's just so much to deal with. That is literally so much to deal with. The pond is actually on my property in no common area. I had a survey done just to be sure. Well, that puts a very different spin on this. If it's on his property, he could be held liable for injuries. Oh yeah. If it's his land and they want him to deal with it, the others can't have both ways if they're willing to. Yeah, no, literally. He's like, okay, here's $10,000. Like, literally. Like, okay, here's the option. No? Okay. Well, it wasn't a no. It wasn't a straight up no. Am I the asshole for kicking out my friend and his girlfriend during our wedding? No? I don't know. I feel like I might be wrong on this one. I'm feeling like I'm gonna be wrong. I'm gonna say no. Hey everyone. I, 29 male, just got married to my amazing wife, 29 female, 2 days ago. We've been planning our wedding for years, and it was supposed to be the perfect day. I had only one request from my friends. Please do not propose to your girlfriends at our wedding. Oh. I suspect one of my friends might try this because he had been talking about proposing, not directly to me, but to another friend. I specifically asked him not to do it. The wedding night was magical. I had prepared a special song to sing to my wife, a little piece that meant the world to us. As the music was coming to an end, my friend suddenly emerged from the crowd with his girlfriend and proposed to her right then and there. You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! I felt so betrayed, as you should. That bad person. Don't do this. And does it immediately. The crowd was cheering and clapping for them, completely overshadowing our moment. My wife didn't seem to mind too much, but I was devastated. That little person, that son of a guy. Bad. Shortly after, I pulled them aside and asked them to leave the party and told them they couldn't attend the after party. They refused. What do you mean? So I had to ask security to escort them out. Now half of my friends are on my side, while the other half think I'm overreacting and that it wasn't a big deal. Even my parents said I was being too harsh. I'm seriously considering ending the friendship over this. So, am I the asshole for kicking them out? Am I overreacting? No! No! You specifically said not to do a thing, and they did exactly the thing they told you not to do. If that's what you said, like, if you specifically said not to do that, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Please do not propose to your girlfriends at our wedding. I don't believe, like, if this was an alternate universe and you had like I get it, and like you were like, no, this is, I'm gonna stand by the ground, I don't care about anything, like the fallout, the repercussions. You yourself, what do you think you would do? Would you kick them out like this person? That's crossing a line, bro. I don't know. What if they like try to do other stuff later on? Because like you said no to this. That just, I don't know. It hits me a little weird. Yeah, other person probably had no idea and all that. That is totally fair. You're so right. It does put other person in, like, it does put girlfriend in a difficult spot. I mean, wife didn't mind, but like, it's just, it really rubs me the wrong way. Alright, this one is, would I be the asshole if I tell my aunt that she needs to replace my baking tool she threw away? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, but there could be a situation where, like, they were needing to be cleaned and they weren't cleaned for a while, and, you know, it gets all gross and so you have to throw them out because they were just getting gross. I mean, it could be one of those situations, but it could not be. Okay, so some context for this. I love to bake, and last year I spent a pretty penny buying a set of baking utensils that I love. My aunt asked me if she could borrow them, and last week I said okay, and that I would need them back by today because I planned on baking my friend's baby shower cake. I went to her house this morning to get them, only to find out that she threw away several of my utensils away because they broke. To be clear, the heads of some of my utensils pop off to be washed in a dishwasher since the handles are wooden. She thought they broke because of this, and instead of calling to tell me, she just threw them away. I'm going to buy new ones today so I can bake the cake, but I wanted to buy me the same brand of the ones that she threw away. Not the whole set, just the brushes and spatulas. It would only cost her like $20 to $30 at most. So, would I be the asshole to tell her she needs to buy me new ones? No? Oh my gosh. She just threw them away? She just threw them away? What do you mean? I bought these. Oh, they have a link to what they are. Oh my god, $80? I mean, it comes with a lot of stuff for $80, to be fair. And they threw away the silicone... this? That's crazy. Just the brushes and spatulas. Just the brushes and spatulas. All of these? There's no way. Alright, this one is, am I the asshole for telling her she's not that smart for buying things she can't afford? Yes, I'm gonna say yes. To summarize, I, 28, have been with my partner for 3 years. Some part of my family are kind of wealthy, but not all of them. My cousin Marie, around 38 female, is very lavish and arrogant. I've never felt welcomed by her. My family wasn't dirty poor, but we definitely struggled growing up. I don't deny my upbringing, and while I'm not very defensive about it, I try not to take things personally. Recently, during a family reunion, we were talking about how my sister-in-law's daughter, Sasha, has developed an interest in thrifting, both getting stuff from thrift shops and selling, donating things. My sister-in-law were talking about how that's such a nice hobby and nice thing to do. Sasha mentioned that her friend got a nice quality bag from a thrift shop. Then Marie inserts herself in the conversation and says she owns the so-called bag. Sasha says that her friend was lucky and got a very nice deal for it since she can't actually afford it as she's just a college student. Then Marie says that some stuff from thrift shops are disgusting and bad taste. Okay, alright. And leftovers from others. Okay. Okay, high horse. I found that comment so nasty and I told her, well, not necessarily. What kind of bag is it, Sasha? Sasha says the brand, and I ask Maria, what's your bag? And she mentioned the same brand but gets defensive and adds, I bought a similar bag from a store and had to wait for it. That's how it's done. Okay. This is why I think I'm the asshole. I know Marie isn't that wealthy and they have been struggling financially. Obviously, she keeps that hidden and doesn't speak about it. Oh, uh-oh. So I tell her, well, it seems that Sasha's friend got a better deal since she bought that disgusting bag for less. Marie asks me, are you calling me disgusting? And I tell her, no, I'm just saying that you're not the smartest if you're buying things you can't afford. Damn. She got really upset at me and told me I was a very mean person, which I think I partially was, but I didn't care. She deserved that, and I don't think anyone should put down others for no reason, especially if they're not there to defend themselves. Am I the asshole? No. I'm going to say no, because that was not the asshole. I was wrong. But I'm glad I was wrong. Not the asshole. Some people think it's acceptable to talk and put people down to make themselves feel better. Sometimes you just gotta let them know you see them. Yeah, it's just weird. She wasn't even broke. Her husband makes good money, but she doesn't know how to handle that money. Oop. And oop. Spilling all the tea. Oh my gosh. Imagine being that aunt or like related to this family and they're like, oh, it's on Reddit. Oh, we know which aunt they're talking about. Aunt's the asshole. She poked. Alright. Am I the asshole for telling the bride to keep the best man away from me? No? I'm gonna say no. I hope not. No? I, 28 male, attended a wedding on a plantation in Kentucky. Ugh. Okay. I was pretty tense being the only person of color at this wedding as is. Oh, the ceremony was whatever, nothing too weird to speak of. The reception was when I noticed the best man, Keith, kept shooting me looks. Oh no. Found out in the speech that he gave that he is a professional cowboy. Not exactly a red flag, but doesn't do much for the old comfort level. Anyway, the reception starts. I'm having an awesome time, and so are the bride and groom. Keith finds me and tells me a bit about being a professional rodeo cowboy and says, I was raised not like... What do you mean? Then he just awkwardly walks away. There's no way. No way. There's no way. This has got to be bait. I was kind of stunned that I had that interaction and wasn't really sure if that was a threat of some sort. His shirt wasn't buttoned down a bit, and I can tell that he probably could wrestle a cow. I don't know. I started thinking of my exit plan when the bride came up to me and asked if everything was okay. I was in shock a bit and told her that I just had a bizarre interaction with someone, but I was fine. I didn't want to tell her I think I'm going to be hate crimed at her wedding, and I was still processing the interaction. Probably 10 to 20 minutes go by and Keith finds me again on the dance floor. Oh no. This time he looked really odd, not the confident rodeo cowboy that he'd been talking about all night, and says, but I really like black people. At this point, I'm shook, but then he kisses me and I go a bit catatonic. What do you mean? What is this post? He must have been able to tell how not cool with it I was and awkwardly walked away again. He did this in a public place, so I'm assuming that someone saw, and when the bride finds me again, I just tell her, Keith just kissed me. Can you tell me to leave me alone? As the night goes on, my feelings kind of figured themselves out, and I realized that while his approach was pushing a number of boundaries, this guy is super sweet and really attractive and into me. Hopefully for more than just my skin tone. Oh. I wish he would have a better approach because aside from the looks, my family would kill you. What in the fuck? What is this post? And the nonsensical kiss, he seems like a great guy. Eventually, I kept thinking about him and asked the bride where he was so I could talk to him. Oh, she looked a bit awkward. I think he's still crying in his trunk. Is this like a novel somebody's trying to write? I didn't get to talk to him after that, and I hope he's doing okay. So yeah, anyway, am I the asshole for making maybe out of the guy somehow? What?